So we're doing exercise 7b, and in this video, I'll be answering question 3d, which says, sketch the graph of each of the following, and we're dealing with y equals 1 over 2x. Now to answer this, I've broken it down into 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. Find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept, find another point. We're going to see why we're going to have to find another point. And then lastly, give it a sketch. So let us begin by first finding my x-intercept by letting y equal 0. So I'm going to be left with 0 equals 1 over 2x. I will then times both sides by 2x, and what I'm going to be left with is 0 equals 1. The last time I checked, 0 doesn't equal 1, so that tells me that there are no x-intercepts. Next, I find my y-intercept. To do this, I let x equal 0. So I'm going to get y equals 1 over 2, 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 1 over 0 is undefined, so there are no y-int. Now, let's stop here and consider the fact that we have no x-ints and no y-ints. That makes perfect sense when we come and look at this. This is a rectangular hyperbola, and we know that that looks something like this. Whoop. And this. Whoop. All right, let's pretend that looks good. Now, I've drawn this roughly, but what I've drawn here is y equals 1 over x. And you can see that here because at 1, 1 is there and negative 1, 1 is there. But we don't want to just draw 1 over x because we now have a 2 here. So we have some sort of dilation that is occurring, which is going to change this shape. So in order to give this a sketch, therefore, I'm going to need to find a point. Just like I have 1, 1 here, I'm going to have to find a point that exists on this graph in order to give it a sketch. So let me rub this out. Rub, rub, rub. Okay, so what I'm going to do, again, make it easier on yourself. I'm going to find what my y will be when x equals 1. So what will my y be when I let x equal 1? So I simply go, all right, well, that's going to be y equals 1 over 2, put my 1 in. So y is going to equal a half. So that means my other point is going to be 1 and a half. 1 and 1/2. So I come here, I go 1, it's going to be right there. And I could now sketch it. So let me do it in black. It's going to look something like this. Oh, that's pretty bad. Let me try one more time. Going to go up. Oh, that is horrible. It should be nice and curved, but we're going to have to live with that. I can't do any better on this tablet. All right, there we go. Now, we are also going to have to find an intersection point down here as well. Some of us might be able to do it just off the top of our heads, but if we do just want to walk ourselves through it, if I did let x equal negative 1, well, that would mean I would have y equals negative a half out. So another point I could get is negative 1, negative a half. Hopefully some of you would be able to figure that out without having to do that. But if you have to do it, it really doesn't matter. It's just an extra step that some of us might be needing to do. So negative half, it will be right here. All right, and that will be negative 1, negative a half. All right, let's try this again. It's going to be like this. All right, that's even worse. This shouldn't look like a right angle. It should look nice and curved, but you're going to have to forgive me. All right, there we go. So that is question 3D from exercise 7B. Hopefully this helped.